Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton are two young novices in the Mormon Church whose mission is to convert people to their faith. Their spiritual quest leads them to the home of Mr. Reed, a man with a keen interest in various religions, who engages them in a theological debate that seamlessly transitions into a brutal test of their faith. There are filmmakers who propel their way to the top with their debut movie, but for most it's a long and thorny road woven with small victories, painful disappointments, and ever-evolving talent. For example, young directors and screenwriters Scott Beck and Brian Woods, having practiced on short films for a few years, in 2015 released the found-footage horror Nightlight, which for some reason almost Noon liked, but for the author of this review even then it was among the best clones of the Blair Witch Project. Nevertheless, fortune gave the duo another chance, or rather even two. In 2018, A Quiet Place, directed from their script, became a big box office hit, and year later came their directorial project Haunt, a brutal slasher in the interiors of an amusement park. Unfortunately, this movie was not given a chance to show itself in wide theatrical release, but it became extremely popular on home video, and somewhere from that moment the creative duo was noticed by the bosses of one of the most prestigious film distribution studios in the world, A24. Their first project together, the sci-fi thriller 65 with Adam Driver, did not get much love from either the audience or the critics, but the subsequent Heretic, in all likelihood, will become long-deserved pass to the big leagues for Beck and Woods. A key marketing move for Heretic was the casting of Hugh Grant in the title role, a very charming and likable British actor who was a rom-com star until the late noughties, but in recent years has been looking for ways to restart his career in other genres, shedding the nice guy label. In Heretic, that label plays to his advantage. The film begins leisurely and builds up to the middle with a dialogue between the host and his guests, initially relaxed and friendly, but turning darker as it progresses. Exactly in the middle of the film, Mr. Reed, who at length reassures the preachers that his wife is in the next room, but just busy right now and not ready to come out, asks the key question: do you believe she really is behind that door, despite the fact that literally everything around him is screaming that she is not? And this gives start to the second part of the movie, in which the theological debate about the nature of religion and faith in general moves from theory to practice. Why do humans believe in the existence of higher powers, despite the fact that no convincing evidence for it exists, and banal logic says that nothing is likely waiting for us after death? The answer that Beck and Woods offer will not satisfy everyone, and some people have already labeled Heretic as an anti-clerical movie, but it seems that this is still not the right way to look at what they have done. The authors, just like their characters, contrast rationality and blind faith, but they draw an obvious conclusion that is quite capable of satisfying those who are willing to listen and hear. We don't know what happens next, it's all very unclear and scary, but the worst thing that can happen is to live without faith at all. Hugh Grant brilliantly fits into the role of Mr. Reed. The load of likable chaps he has played before works phenomenally on this image. You are under his charm and mesmerized to trust him even when he does terrible things. But no less work is done by young actresses Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East in the roles of the two preachers. Thatcher, who portrays the more rational and serious Sister Barnes, got a simpler role, but East is absolutely phenomenal as the more naive, childishly gullible Sister Paxton, who has to undergo a difficult rite of passage to face reality. Yes, there are still some questions about Heretic after the movie is over, but they're more of a quibble. As a movie, as an artistic statement, as a story, it's a beautiful work that is memorable and will surely make you come back to it again and again in the future.